Well, hello there, all of you fabulous fans, and welcome back to another stirring installment of Fan Frictions, as brought to you by we, the hosts of the Disinformed podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm John.
I'm Michael.
I'm Courtney.
So this is our latest installment in our quick series where we dive into segments of 27B/6. So this is our 27B/fiction, which is a lot of fun. And we're all enjoying a bit of nonsense. Michael was way too pleased with that.
I was. It was just it was beautiful.
So this one I'm going to preface because it is a beautiful example of trolling, but it is also extremely insensitive, and there is some language that's going to be included here which is not kid-friendly or mother-approved. This has nothing to do with us, and we are not editorializing as to the views of either of the participants in this exchange. We are simply reading it to try to have a funny, because this imbecile, who holds very ridiculous views, gets clowned to death. And so I want to see this happen, and the soul gets slapped out of this person's body. It is the verbal equivalent of the iced tea slap.
Ooh.
So here we are.
A spiked tea.
John will note for the record, and I will synopsize here, he is not a professional voice actor.
No, never have been.
But this person is not capable of forming coherent sentences, so I think it'll all work out in the end.
All right, so I'm going to try and make him sound like Michael.
Shouldn't be too hard. All right, so this is
with a Scottish accent
from 27B/6's post entitled "Fogot." Sometimes people email me to tell me how their day's going. Other times they email me to tell me that I'm a dickhead and my website is stupid, which I'm already aware of due to many preceding emails stating the same thing. I don't harbor behind a fake name, and my email address is clearly listed, so it's a simple process for people like George to express their opinion to me. But I'm not sure why they bother. If I were a hetero-flexible, I'm pretty sure I'd already be aware of the fact, and if I'm not, stating that I am is in error, so either way, it's a pointless exercise. I don't email random people telling them that they have a pet cat named Charles on the off chance that they do and are not aware of it. And so here's the exchange between George and David Thorne.
I have read your website, and it is obviously that you're a fogot.
Dear George, thank you for your email. While I have no idea what a fogot is, I will assume it's a term of endearment, and I appreciate you taking time out from calculating launch trajectories or removing temporal lobe tumors to contact me with such. I've attached a signed photo as per your request. Regards, David.
I didn't ask for a photo, and I meant homo. I'm not a fan, so you can shove your signed photo up your ass. You'd probably enjoy that. Whoa!
Whoa!
Go suck your boyfriend's dick in a gay club.
Oh, this guy. Dear George, while I don't have a boyfriend, I do have a friend who is homosexual, and I once asked him, "Do you ever think about having sex with me because you're gay?" To which he replied, "Do you ever think about having sex with Rosie O'Donnell because you're straight?" Same thing. If I were inclined to have a boyfriend, I'd select one my height and weight to save having to readjust the driver's seat position. I'm not interested in doubling my wardrobe as I wear the same outfit every day to facilitate speedy identification should I ever be in a boating accident. Although I don't frequent gay clubs, when I was about 10 and I constructed a clubhouse in my backyard using timber stolen from a building site down the road, our club, which we nicknamed the Kiss Club due to a certain band being popular at the time, employed an intensive entry exam in which the applicant had to know all the words to Love Gun and not be a girl. That's just for you, John, because I know what a fan you are of Love Gun.
Yeah. Thank you. You pulled the trigger.
The next day after school, having managed to recruit several new members by promising laminated membership cards and changing the entry exam to knowing the names of the band members, we all rode to my place to participate in the first club meeting, only to discover my sister Outraged by the no girls rule and armed with 4 liters of paint left over from a recent bedroom redesign, had painted our clubhouse pink and added ing to the end of the word kiss. Also, despite your inference, I have managed up to this point to avoid putting most things in my bottom. Primarily due to the possibility that I might enjoy it, get carried away, and move on to watermelons or mid-sized family autos. When I was about 8, I drew a face on my hand and practiced kissing it, which I will admit is a little gay, and I've often thought there would be advantages to homosexuality, such as Abercrombie and Fitch reward points, successful couch fabric selection capabilities, and the gift of dance, with or without a top on. This would come in extremely useful if I needed $500 and saw a poster advertising a dance competition with a first prize of $500. Regards, David.
Whew, gosh, I really need Michael's woohoo button here. So
I will give you the woohoo. Yes.
Thank you. If you lived close by, I would be over your place with 5 friends tonight.
Dear George, I knew we'd get along well. We've only known each other for 1 day and already you're organizing a party. I'm not sure where is, but if I lived close by, I would definitely be up for that. We could all sit outside on banana lounges discussing the best way to rebuild a 4-wheel drive transmission and agree, through shared stories of conquests supporting our assertions, that there is no basis to the proposition that those least assured of their sexual persuasions are the first to condemn others for theirs. Although the ideal would be for everyone to be capable of love without fear, restraint, or obligation, clearly this does not apply to homosexuals. At no point during the night would you comment on how much you loved my Abercrombie and Fitch pants, or ask, "Is that a Marcel Brewer couch? I love the fabric selection." And when we danced, we would all leave our tops on. Regards, David.
No. I live in Charleston, West Virginia, the best country in the world. I wasn't seeing it would be a party. We would smash your skull in, and you are calling me a... You can yourself because I have a girlfriend.
Oh, no.
I particularly like it Picasso.
Yeah.
Dear George, is she also your sister? I checked out her photos on your Facebook page, and while she's not exactly my type, I accept that other people have different preferences, even when those preferences include facial tattoos and stretch pants constructed from sufficient material to shelter a small village, and their livestock. Some men enjoy dancing with other men without their tops on, while others prefer the company of a woman 2 KFC family buckets away from upsetting the planet's rotational axis. I read somewhere that Eskimos prefer women of girth as it provides warmth at night. I've seen the size of those igloos, though, and there is no way your girlfriend would make it through the opening. You could possibly just construct one around her, and despite the hassle of having to trudge out into the snow every day to catch and prepare the 80 meals required to maintain her mass, it would be like a kiln in there. If I were an Eskimo, I'd build my igloo next to a supermarket on a tropical beach. Regards, David.
She isn't fat, you. And that got that tattoo as a teardrop because her family is dead.
Did she eat them?
You got to lead me with a woohoo here.
Woohoo!
Off.
Woohoo!
Her family, they died in a crash. Have some respect. Go put some more gel in your hair and dye it back like a skinny, or like an emo skinny. And how can you see my Facebook page pictures?
Real questions.
This was from 2010, so I mean, we were all still stymied by security back then. Dear George, yes, I have heard those motorhomes can be a bitch to steer, especially around tight corners during a police chase or a moonshine run. I will concede to 50% of your description of me as a skinny being correct. If our bodies are temples, mine would be heavily shelled Iranian mosque. To rectify this, I have instigated a fitness and weight training regime. Once a week, I carry 2 heavy garbage bags out to the sidewalk and jog back. As this week was my first session and I didn't want to overexert myself, I took the car. Obviously, with a few breaks in between to rehydrate and stretch. Although hardly an emo, I understand their pain. If I looked in the mirror and saw an anorexic version of Pugsley Adams staring back at me, I would probably start hoo-hoo as well. I will admit to having dyed my hair once, though. The product, misrepresented as natural black instead of Astro Boy black, turned my hair dark as an adequate simile describing just how black it actually was, and stained my forehead and ears purple. I spent the following week telling people I couldn't leave the house due to agoraphobia, an illness usually self-diagnosed by the unemployed as an excuse to stay home and masturbate or play Wii. I have access to your Facebook page due to the friend request you accepted from the Oscar Wilde profile I constructed yesterday. I assumed the name would hold no relevance to you, and consistency being the last refuge of unimaginative, I typed redneck wearing baseball cap into Google Images to locate a photo you would identify and feel comfortable with. Regards, David.
That's fraud. I will report you to the police and to Facebook. I would shoot you in the face with my 32 if you were here right now.
Dear George, yes, I'm fairly certain there is a worldwide criminal investigation network dedicated solely to bringing those who construct fake Facebook profiles to justice. I believe the punishment is tar and feathering in most parts of the world, except West Virginia, where you are stripped naked, oiled up, and chased around a paddock while wearing a pig mask. Apparently, in West Virginia, this is also known as a date. Variations include substituting the paddock with a motorhome or the person with an actual pig, or in your case, both. Also, as it is probably far more acceptable for men in West Virginia to hold guns than hands, I will assume the term shooting me in the face with your 32 is not a euphemism. Regards, David.
I've deleted you from my Facebook and reported you. I hope you die of AIDS. Don't bother emailing me again because I won't read it.
Yes, you will.
No, I won't. And scene.
No, I so fucking won't.
Well, thank you for
And there we
defeating the
go.
whole purpose
You
of the
said-
bleeps, Mike.
Bitch
I mean, we're
earlier. I'm just saying that.
It's a female dog, Michael.
Bitch and fuck
a
are
s-
different, Michael. Sorry, I had.
Scientific term.
Okay.
So yes, I know that was incredibly charged, horribly insensitive, but I felt like someone with that narrow-minded idiocy finally getting put in their place a little bit was worth taking a little time to delve into.
Good.
Yes,
We've all proven we're also very, very politically correct on this podcast
absolutely
previously.
are. 100%. Take that, George.
Yeah.
He also has like a really phenomenal, like stoned face. Good old George there.
And
Yeah. Anywho, thank you all for taking the time to dive in with us. We hope that you enjoy, and there are, of course, links to this glorious little site down below so you can explore more of the misadventures of Mr. David Thorne. He also has a slew of books available, which we will plug here because he's a lot of fun. But anything else we want to add, friends, neighbors, listeners?
Nope.
All right, well then let's kill it before it spreads. Or we upset the Earth's gravitational pull.
2 buckets short. That's all it takes.
Extra crispy.
Ooh.
For the Disinformed Fan-Friction this week, I'm Shane.
I'm John.
I'm Michael.
I'm Courtney.
And thank you all for being here. And remember, please keep an eye out for Missy.